Hi, this is Ron in the park, and I'm in Tokyo, and yes, the quarantine is working very well. This park is packed full of people, but what can you expect? It's over 20 degrees here in Tokyo. Very few tests are being done, so there's not a big public outcry. You can just hear kids from a local nursery school, but other kids are meeting in the park, as I mentioned, so it's kind of a little bit crazy. So you can see kind of all the people here in the park. Again, it's a wonderful, terrific day. So I think the idea of self-quarantine hasn't really taken hold in Japan. So people are still out and about. Good news in Canada, the Canadian government under Justin Trudeau has got an aid package, and that's for people who are losing income from looking after people. These are people who have part-time jobs, who usually wouldn't be qualified for the unemployment insurance and other things that take time and need a lot of documentation. So this time the Canadian government is really stepping up efforts to try and help people qualify almost by just filling out the paperwork saying, I'm losing income, I'm looking after my sick mother, I'm losing income, I'm a self-employed person. Also, the Canadian government is delaying tax returns, I believe, until August. So if people have taxes they need to pay, they're allowing that to be leaned until August. So people have more time to get their incomes back. But for 14 weeks, every 2 weeks, the government is going to be giving and issuing checks to people. So it's quite nice. And you can see here people are in the dog park. And if definitely they were going to infect people, it would be in the dog park. There's a girl. Lots of exciting dogs. And this park has a division with small dogs and large dogs. And you can see the Great Danes are out today. So there is very little fear here in Japan about, you can see the little dogs. But little fear in Japan about the virus. I think it's because there's not been a lot of public testing going on. So people don't have the idea of trying to test on a large scale. Though the Olympics president of Japan came back from Europe and he tested positive for the coronavirus. That's not big in Japan news. They don't want to have fear with everybody. So it's a kind of interesting situation here in Japan. As you can see, more kids are playing from other daycares. So it's bring the kid to the park day or something here. But again, the next few days, it's going to get warmer and warmer. The sakura is going to be coming out. And you can already see some of the sakura is starting to bloom there. So it's a little bit unusual situation. And so, yeah, we're going to do our best in Japan. People are not so much self-isolating as they are keeping away from each other, but this is kind of normal to clean up after yourself and isolate yourself on the trains or away from people. That's kind of the norm in Japan. So everyone's just taking a different approach.